Well, hello again. Welcome back, everyone. Today we've got a gorgeous little piece of apple. This is measuring about 8 inch by 8 inch and probably about 5 or 4.5 inches high. And this is pretty darn dry. It's been sitting around for quite some time. Not much moisture content. Going to make something lovely out of it because it's just beautiful wood, and that's what happens with apple. Here we go. So apple is, historically, it's a very hard wood. This piece was no exception. Lots of sharpening off camera, but boy, apple it's just beautiful. A little hard, at least for me here in South Carolina, to get a hold of, but going to see what's inside this piece here. Always feels like Forrest Gump, you know. Box of chocolate, you never know what you're going to get. So a lot of people have been commenting and asking where I'm sourcing my wood and that sort of thing. I can tell you this piece in particular was one of a bunch that I got from a gentleman who was a woodturner, and he was moving, and he had a whole shop full of gorgeous blanks, all kinds of different varieties. And darn it, I wish I'd gotten more from him. But the nice benefit of this, if you can find people on Facebook marketplaces, where I found the gentleman, where I find a lot of the wood I get, is they just tend to collect, and they just get so much, they know that realistically they're not going to be able to get to it all, so they might as well go ahead and let some go to some other folks like me. So that's what happened with this. The nice consequence of that is that a lot of times the wood is very dry. It's been sitting, this has been sitting for the better part of 20 years. So he got rid of some blanks. I got some wonderful blanks that I can turn right away, and everybody's happy. Getting this into a nice little shape, I really just wanted to create a very pretty bowl. And this is going to be rather simple design. But I think, as you'll see, it won't be simple when it comes to the grain and to the features of this apple wood. Getting the what will be the top a little flattened out, and ready to turn around as soon as I get a little sanding going and put in the chuck, and we can start working on the inside and hollowing out. So we'll sand to about a 400 grit, and then we'll go through and I'll burnish the outside with the fine steel wool and the medium Scotch pad and fine Scotch pad, like I do a lot. Before we get any kind of sanding paste or anything on, I like to clean it with a little alcohol, get all the dust gone, and get it ready for the next step. This is the Axe abrasive paste. This gives us about a 1000 grit finish. Really like this stuff. So time to turn this around and get it in the chuck and start working on the inside and our hollowing process. Again, this is a pretty hard wood in general, and lots of sharpening and going back and sharpening again, but well worth it. So I'm going to try to keep the wall thickness pretty thin. As you can see, I took the tailstock away because you have to at some point. Otherwise you can't really get in there. And you'll notice that I leave that center bulk in there. When you're taking the walls of a piece kind of thin, they tend to flex a little bit and makes it real hard to get a nice clean cut. So I try to get them where I want them and then remove the inside or the middle bulk so I don't have to go back to them, because again, it's hard to get a clean cut. Get ready to start establishing our depth and just getting everything smoothed out and ready to get to the point where we can sand and finish up. Negative rake scraper, terrific tool if you haven't used one. Really makes life a lot easier. Kind of feels like cheating sometimes. Time to get a little sandpaper on this and get to the point where we can finish her up. We'll finish very much the same way that we did the outside with the fine steel wool Scotch pads, and we'll go through and use the axe abrasive paste again. Little alcohol to clean things up. This wood is actually a pleasure to turn, even though it is on the hard side. I've turned one or two other pieces of apple. It's wonderful. And then there's that. It kind of makes it wonderful too. So the last thing we need to do is go ahead and get this turned around once again. I'll use a vacuum chuck as a jam chuck, and we'll get that tenon gone and finish the bottom. Got to make sure that that's concaved, otherwise it will wobble when it sits flat. This way it will sit right on the outside edges of the foot that we've created. Just wanted to put a little decorating feature on the bottom. Time to remove that little nub, and I'll just use my very small bolt gouge and just lightly push in until it goes away. Easy peasy. Last thing we need to do is get some Danish oil on this, and we can call her done. I really appreciate everybody taking your time to watch. I know there's a lot of content out there on YouTube, and believe me when I say I'm really appreciative that you take and spend a little bit of time here. Best way to support me for free is to hit that notification bell when you subscribe. That lets YouTube know that you're interested in the content, and you'll be notified when I post new videos, which is every Friday. Again, thank you so much, and I will see you again next time.